Heroic bandit Hassan, tab hunter, the rightful Prince of Damascus, falls in love with the Princess Jamila, Rossana Podestà, and with the help of 3 genies, searches for the mysterious golden arrow before returning, by magic carpet, to save the city from the evil Prince of Basra, Renato Baldini, and win Jamila's hand in marriage. The Golden Arrow, L'arciere della Mille Notte, is an Italian-French co-production directed by Antonio Margheriti, credited as Anthony Dawson in international releases. It belongs to the wave of fantasy adventure films inspired by The Thief of Baghdad and 1001 Nights. American actor Tab Hunter plays the heroic archer Hassan. His casting was an attempt to give the film broader international appeal, as Italian genre cinema often used American stars to sell films overseas. Italian actress Rossana Podestà, known for her beauty and role as Helen in Helen of Troy, 1956, plays Princess Jamila, whose hand in marriage is tied to the quest for the magical golden arrow. The film was produced during the early 1960s boom of Italian sword and sandal, peplum and fantasy films. Arabian-style adventures with flying carpets and genies were a popular offshoot of the genre. Margheriti was famous for his inventive use of miniatures and effects on modest budgets. The Golden Arrow features flying carpets, magical transformations, and mystical landscapes that relied on optical tricks and model work. Like many Italian epics of the time, the film was shot primarily at Cinecittà Studios in Rome, with elaborate set designs to recreate an exotic fantasy version of Baghdad and surrounding lands. The movie was dubbed into English for its U.S. release in 1964 by MGM, which distributed it to capitalize on the popularity of colorful fantasy adventures for family audiences. The costumes were colorful and elaborate, designed to emphasize spectacle and exoticism. They reflect a stylized rather than historically accurate vision of the Middle East, typical of 1960s fantasy cinema. The score was composed by Mario Nascimbene, a prolific Italian film composer who also worked on Barabbas, 1961, and The Vikings, 1958. His sweeping themes added grandeur to the fairy tale atmosphere. The central story follows Hassan, who with the aid of the magical golden arrow must defeat rivals and prove himself worthy of marrying Princess Jamila. The film combines romance, action, and fantasy elements. Tab Hunter later admitted in interviews that the Golden Arrow was one of his least favorite projects, saying he felt more like a pretty face in a costume than an actor. He took it mostly because it was a paid European job during a slump in his Hollywood career. Among the reasons this film is so incoherent and disjointed are the facts that its screenplay lists 6 writers, none of whom were apparently familiar with English, and that Tab Hunter himself spent every moment of its production that didn't require him to be on camera desperately rewriting the dialogue, much of which he found embarrassing to speak. Since the film was shot in Italian and dubbed later, Hunter delivered his lines in English while his co-stars spoke Italian. This was common in Italian co-productions, but often created awkward lip-sync issues in the final dub. The flying carpet sequences were achieved with practical rigs and blue-screen compositing, a big technical undertaking for a modest Italian budget. The results were colorful but sometimes unintentionally humorous to modern eyes. The success of The Thief of Baghdad, 1940, and Arabian Nights, 1942, inspired a wave of European-made Arabian fantasy films in the 50s and 60s. The Golden Arrow is one of the more colorful examples of this cycle. While critics in the West often dismissed the film as lightweight spectacle compared to Hollywood's grander fantasies, The Golden Arrow has since gained a cult audience among fans of Italian genre cinema, admired for its colorful visuals, old-fashioned adventure spirit, and Margheriti's trademark ingenuity.
Who is this mystery man of Arabia? Adventurous enough to win the love of a princess. Powerful enough to bend the fabled Golden Arrow to his will. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer presents a new motion picture of breathtaking adventure, spectacle, romance. The Golden Arrow. Alive with all the glamour, color, fascination of the fabulous Arabian Nights. The story of a beautiful but unwilling bride.
Your illustrious groom, the invincible Prince Boschero, has come to escort you to the nuptial ceremonies.
Of a villainous vizier. Starring Tab Hunter and lovely Rossana Podestà, with literally a cast of thousands.
You have been chosen by Allah to restore justice here. This is Allah's sign, the Star of Damascus.
I'm your master, Jamila.
You already were, my love.
No, I'm the new Sultan of Damascus.
C. Princess Kidnapped.
Let me go!
C. Deadly struggle with the fire demons. C. A city besieged.
My army is mobilized just outside the city gate. You and Damascus are now mine.
C. War of the Flying Carpets. New vistas of excitement and enchantment in Technicolor and Technorama.